What's going on, guys? I'm pretty much just poaching this idea from OP Tactical. Just going to be more of my sort of my thoughts on it. I don't think it's anything controversial or anything, so don't come into it thinking that this is some sort of dogging on OP Tac. Quite the opposite. I got one of these packs from OP Tac. Anyways, recently they put a quick comparison on their Instagram between these two packs. These are the Velocity Systems 24-hour and 48-hour packs, or assault packs. And to me, they are one of the most unsung heroes in the tactical bag game. First of all, just the feature set. They're good. They're pretty simple bags. You know, you got molly space on them. You've got, in this case, spot for bungee. In this case, a tweet pocket, tweet bottle pocket, whatever. You've got decent enough organization for them. But I think what really stands out is the price. This bag, you can definitely find them for sub $100. And as far as I know, most Velocity System stuff you're never going to find. Maybe the rugby shirts, you're not going to find for that inexpensive. This is one of those things that they either are underpricing compared to the rest of the market, or we're just incredibly lucky that pricing hasn't changed, because in my opinion this is worth way more than what I paid for it. I bought it used for $80 and it was in good condition. I've added all this dirt and wear to it, and this is not much more. You gauge the metric about maybe $20-$25 more, maybe. It depends, sometimes not even that much. And you're talking about a pack like this for sub 150. That is a huge deal compared to other offerings from companies like Mystery Ranch, Kifaru, Burlestock, and you're going to realize that these are so incredibly priced. They come in colors you want. They come in, they come obviously multicam Ranger Green. They come in black, Coyote Brown, whatever, and they're simple. You're gonna want to. These are great bags if you want to modify them for whatever reason. I'll show some modifications I've done to this one, or the one modification I've done. They're great bags if you just want to rag on them too. And like anything else, Velocity Systems, they're built pretty well. So this is. I don't want to really make this a comparison. More of just kind of an explanation of why I like these two bags, even though I just got this one today. I had the 24-hour bag at Tusk last year in September at the Direct Action Resource Center. If you want to know more about that, I have other videos on it. But part of the packing list was having some sort of assault pack, and I erred on the side of as small as possible, and I'm glad I did. There really wasn't anything else I needed to put in this. How it worked out was we were never really away from our rucks, like beyond maybe a few hours. So something like this was perfect. And what really made it perfect is what it doesn't have. So I'm going to move this to the side. This bag does not have an internal frame. It does not have anything that keeps it rigid. And because of that, it does this cool thing for storage. You can just come and roll it up. Stuff it in your bag, whatever. It's about the size of a shoe, the grown man's shoe. So if you can find space for one shoe in your ruck, then congrats, you have an assault pack. If not, you can always flatten this up and it'll fit in a bladder pocket, no problem. And I like that because that means that, one, it's a pack that can always find room for in a ruck. And if you spend a lot of time doing extended duration, training, missions, whatever, you're definitely going to want something that you can take away from either the patrol base or your objective rally point to, conduct actions on the objective. You want something small that carries just about everything you need without getting in the way. And I think this is a perfect example of that. So the bag is just very simple. Internal pocket, main pocket here. It's dirty because I put dirty stuff in there. Put a e-tool in there. And then a smaller pocket with a tiny little pocket in there for, whatever knickknacks you want. Instead of having a tweave pocket like the 48-hour, this one just has that vertical molly or vertical webbing, and you just run bungee through it. Mine didn't come with it, so I added my own, and I've used it for wet socks, wet shirts, weird irregular shaped items. I've stuffed a hat in there if I had one. It doesn't really matter. Molly on the side if you feel like it wasn't enough. Sometimes it isn't. I ran a mag pouch on the side of mine for spare ammo, because I knew for what we were doing, you might end up wanting to top off afterwards. You get your lace reports, and then it's like, all right, cool, we need a cross-load ammo in case we get hit again, because we just made a ton of racket. And so I was carrying just extra mags there, but I also had extra mags inside. And a pack like this is perfect for carrying everything you need for a few hours away from your ruck. Food and water, big ones, spare ammo, like I just mentioned, wet weather gear, cold weather gear. I'm a proponent of keeping night vision on your kit if possible, but if not, this is a great place to put it. Mission essential equipment, so observation equipment, spare radio batteries, photo camera, maybe some breaching equipment. The list goes on and on and on. But like I said, I did a modification to this, and that was that I added these Snapdragon buckles to it. And I am a big proponent of, if you get shot at, with this bag it doesn't really matter as much, but when you get shot at, you want to be able to get rid of whatever the hell's on you as quickly as possible. And so I added these Snapdragon buckles so that if I needed to, I could pull on that and jettison the bag. In my opinion, this bag probably doesn't need it, but I was just messing around, and I kind of like having it there. So that's the big modification that I did to this. Snip, tape, etc. And it's cool. I'm a big fan. I was such a big fan that I picked up its big brother, the 48-hour pack. There's some differences. If you want more of an explanation of the differences, OP Tactical has their post on Instagram. But just quickly, instead of bungee on the front, it's got the tweef pocket. Instead of molly on both sides, you've got a water bottle pocket here. It's obviously a bigger pack, but the zipper layout is identical. You've got smaller internal pocket there with a very small little admin doodad pocket, and then you've got the main pocket with a ostensibly hydration bladder pocket, and that's it. The only other major big difference I saw between the two is this one's padding on these shoulder straps is covered in that tweed material, whereas the 24-hour, I don't know if it's just a different generation thing, it's just that mesh padding. It's whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm sure in practice it'll be fine. So when I get a new bag, I tend to do certain not really modifications, but just little things, quality of life improvements. So the first one I did on this one is I added another water bottle pocket. I took up the molly. I don't plan on rolling this one up as much as I do with the 24-hour pack, but it still can. It's just, going to be not as small, but it'll still roll up if need be. Very cool. I'm sure you guys could figure it out if you got your own. So I added a water bottle pocket. It's South Florida, it's hot, and I prioritize having water. Water's king. If you go to Tusk, you'll figure that one out real quick. But something else I do with every bag is I'll look at where any adjustable sort of straps are, and if I find that there's a significant amount of excess, like I found on the shoulder strap webbing, I'll tape it up. I'll leave myself a little bit of wiggle room in case I throw on a jacket or something, but I already measured this to my back. I cinched it down about as much as I think I would need it, and then I just tape up that excess. If need be, I could always take off the tape, readjust it, but usually I don't ever need to do that. Next thing, it came with a sternum strap. I took that off. I don't think packs of this size really merit a sternum strap. I've never really cared for them. In my opinion, if you're not putting a hip belt on it for weight distribution, moving it from your shoulders to your hip, then you probably don't need a sternum strap either. But it came with one, and I don't ever like to get rid of stuff like that, so I just put it in that little sub pocket, and there you go. If you are so inclined, it's easy to put on, easy to take off. So taping straps, adding pouches, and taking away that sternum strap is about all I can really tell. I may or may not do the Snapdragon mod to this, who knows, whatever. But, a distinction between the webbing straps for the shoulders and the ones for the compression straps on the side is I don't feel like this is enough to really care about taping it up. These might get adjusted a lot more often, so I probably don't tape those up, but I do tape these up because it was more than enough that I felt it needed it for a few reasons. Number one, I think it looks extremely stupid. I think you can kind of use it as a gauge of who knows what they're doing, who actually took care in what they're doing and how they set up their equipment. It was whether or not they have 1.5 million straps hanging out, compression straps, etc. Like tape them down. These straps, if you're in the woods, if you're going through brush, they'll get caught on everything if they're not taped down. They'll get in the way, they'll get caught on your gear, they'll get stuck on stuff, and then you're fighting your bag for no reason. You're fighting brush, etc. And in an urban environment, much the same thing. Odds are, if you are someone into CQB, or which you should be, but if you're doing a lot of stuff like that, and there's been breaching, there's broken door jams, there's splinters, etc. They'll get caught on that long strap of webbing, and then all of a sudden you're walking, and then you just stop. You grind to a halt because it is you versus a building, and you are not going to win. So that's another reason to tape these down. And then third, and this is my opinion, I think it looks unprofessional when you've got a strap just dangling like, a few feet behind you. I think it looks stupid. We had a saying in the Army, we used to call them like predator dreads or something. Like if you just saw a rucksack where someone didn't tape up those straps or tie them down, with rubber bands or whatever, it just looked bad. So that's really all I really needed to do to this bag. I hope it either is going to fulfill that, to me, this is what a true 24-hour bag kind of looks like. It's big enough that you can fit all the water you'll need for an actual movement, food, layers, wet weather gear, maybe, a change of shirt, definitely spare socks, and then any sort of mission essential equipment you might need, even up to include just survival stuff, a poncho, a little fire kit, maybe a mess tin, etc. So, I'm eager to try this one out. And that being said, I'm definitely not getting rid of the 24-hour bag. I think it fits that perfect niche of I need a assault pack that can kind of be stuffed. It can kind of be treated and abused, and it'll still keep going. And so that is my take on both of these packs. I recommend them heavily. Shout out to OP Tactical for basically the idea and for stocking these at a great price. But I recommend both of these. Anyways, guys, y'all take care.